Spider-Noir is woke slop apparently. Our favorite time traveler is back for more, ready to warn us of the deep dangers presented by Spider-Noir. Oh, look at that, he finally got himself a haircut. Not the cleanest job, but it definitely minimizes the mess that we've gotten used to. You know what they say, progress has its stepping stones.
So we have some pictures from the up-and-coming Spider-Man Noir TV show, and surprisingly it looks great. To an extent, because I'm gonna predict right now 100% guaranteed, don't come at me with that bullshit of it's not even out yet. This is gonna be woke, retarded, and gay.
So, how can you guarantee anything if you don't have conclusive information about the final product? We don't even have an official trailer. We mostly just have set photos and some shots they released. If you're a time traveler, then just tell us so we have reason to trust you.
That's not me just saying buzzwords, it's not even rage bait, it's just me saying what I see, and what I see is a piece of shit.
Can you see the future? Because if so, tell us what you saw. We need to know. The fate of humanity depends on your future knowledge.
And no, I'm not one of those people who found out about Spider-Man Noir through Across the Spider-Verse. I've known about him for years, and I've read every single comic of the character. Which, spoiler alert, before you ever go out and buy any, all of them are complete shit. I'm not even joking, I wanted to like the character so much I scraped the bottom of the barrel. I've read every single issue, and every single one of them is socialist, political, race bullshit. That's from the very first issue back in the 2000s all the way up to the modern Spider-Man Noir comics, which are even worse.
You do realize that Spider-Man Noir is from the 1930s, correct? Racism was a heavily prominent issue back then, therefore making it specifically relevant to address at the time. Not to mention that this was during the Great Depression, where many political issues would be put to the forefront, therefore making it natural to address political matters within the story. This is how period pieces work. They're supposed to represent a specific part of our history. This is one of the least reasonable times to complain about politics and media.
None of them have ever delivered a story of a vigilante superhero.
Oh, really? Then why are there numerous comic panels of a vigilante superhero in action? Do you even read the comics that you want about? Do you have an ounce of media literacy?
And every single character and comic like Spider-Man Noir is basically trying to live up to the greatness of that run, which is never gonna happen, especially when you're more interested in retarded socialism instead of hard-boiled detectives.
You didn't even show any comic panels to support your points, besides one where it shows the presence of Nazis and mentions of racism. Is this the best you can provide?
So I hope you can follow along if you're some hater watching this video. Step number 1, the Spider-Man Noir comics are woke, spasticated garbage.
You have yet to prove that the Spider-Man Noir comics are garbage. If anything, you've shown that they're adhering to the period in history that they've committed to as a setting, which in itself is good writing. You're shooting yourself in the foot before you've even ran.
Therefore, the TV show adapting the character will probably be the same.
This is a stupid argument. Adapting something that had badly written source material doesn't mean the adaptation itself will be bad. Adaptations are separate from their source material, and could be of varying degrees of quality differences. You've made so many videos claiming that movies, shows, or games that adapt the comics that you praise so much are total garbage, which means you are aware that the comics won't dictate the adaptation's quality. So why are you using this line of reasoning to support your argument against the new show that you haven't even seen?
But you could argue, hey, it's not even out yet and you don't even know what you're talking about, so I'll let the actual TV show speak for itself. New look at the Amazon Prime Spider-Noir TV show. Now, naming your thing Spider-Noir, it better be noir, and I'll get onto that in a second. It's not really a term to throw around when something is in black and white. First picture is awesome. It's already exceeding the comic in many ways.
So, you're making a case for why the show could improve upon the comics. Yet, you're also trying to say that it's woke slop. Thank you for defeating the thesis of your entire video.
Good job.
We have the main hardboiled detective, Nicolas Cage, which should be Peter Parker, but is Ben Reilly for some weird reason.
Because either his name is different in the TV show, or that's a false identity he uses for his own protection. Either way, there are justifiable reasons that the show could rely on. Disliking the name choice is not a valid criticism.
But all that aside, the guy looks like a film noir protagonist is smoking and drinking. It's exactly what a noir character should be doing. The second picture follows up on that. We have a classic noir detective detective's office like out of the Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart. Third picture is mind-blowingly badass, lightning striking, rainy rooftop, trenchcoat fedora. This is what noir has always been ever since the hard-boiled novels like Mike Hammer from the 50s. Whoever decided to make it look like this knows what they're doing.
That's quite a bit of praise you're giving, surprisingly enough. So what you have to bring to the table must be good. You must have something really damning up your sleeve if all of this is about to be invalidated by the knowledge you somehow have. Let's skip ahead until he finally gets to his smoking gun.
Oh yeah, and one of the biggest things about noir is that it can't really be woke, because the entire genre since the very start, like Raymond Chandler's The Big Sleep, is based upon criticizing the justice system, the government, and the elites who do really weird things behind closed doors.
You mean like what's in the first issue of Spider-Man Noir? Like where the government faces criticism for its failure to the economy? Or the constant mentions of corruption and how Osborn is behind this? Do you pay any attention to the books that you complain about?
Okay. Did you read it?
And that's why this genre is more relevant than ever nowadays. And there's really no room for fucking socialism or race swaps, and that's why this pisses me off. Just because Nicolas Cage is smoking and drinking, standing on rooftops in the rain like a hard-boiled badass, doesn't mean that the rest of it is gonna suck.
Okay, but you need to prove that the rest of it is going to suck in the first place. You never substantiate this in your videos. Which, in all honesty, this just makes you the boy who cried woke.
And I don't care what anybody says, this right here is a guarantee that it will. So long story short, in the original Spider-Man Noir comics, Peter Parker is working with Ben Urich, you know, the classic reporter from Frank Miller's Daredevil run. He's kind of like the Jim Gordon kind of detective character of the Marvel universe, except he's a reporter. Well, he's in the original Spider-Man Noir comics, but he's white. So why would they bring him into this? Instead, they had to bring in Robbie Robertson, you know, the black guy.
Oh no, not the black guy. We can't have the black guy exist in the Spider-Man show. The moment he said this, you already knew this was coming.
And here we go.
I understand that casting a black guy is offensive to you, and I'm very sorry that offends you. But if you actually care about comic accuracy, you'd realize that he was literally a character in the comics.
Okay. Did you read it?
And to be honest, I don't really know how he fits into this story in the 30s. It makes zero fucking sense.
Because black people existed in the 1930s? Did they suddenly just not exist back then? I mean, you're the one claiming to know the future so much, so why don't you go to the past and see for yourself?
And talking about things that are spasticated and make zero sense, if you ever want to laugh your ass off, just look into the Spider-Man Noir comics. It starts with a cool detective investigating around New York and ends with Spider-Man fighting the SS and freeing slaves.
Wow, I can't believe the Spider-Man story ends with him fighting bad guys and saving people. That's just unheard of. That's wildly offensive to the eyes.
It's completely retarded. Oh yeah, and remember those rumors about Black Cat being played by Sydney Sweeney, which would be a godsend in my eyes. Instead, you get a fucking race swap.
And this means anything because... why exactly? What actually matters is whether or not she adds to the show. Is the writing good? That is yet to be seen. Is the performance good? That is yet to be seen. You have nothing to work with outside of a casting, which says nothing about what the end result will be.
Yeah, quick spoiler alert. This Chinese chick here is going to be playing Felicia Hardy in the Spider-Man Noir TV show. And in the comics, Black Cat was kind of the Veronica Lake archetype of the nightclub singer who goes out with the main detective. And they're going for the same thing here, except she's Chinese. And to be honest, I don't really have a problem with Asian people, but I really don't think there should be an Asian main character in a TV show set in the 30s.
So, you don't have a problem with Asian people, you just have a problem with them existing in the 1930s, which is all that is needed to make it possible for them to have a prominent role. This is the best you've got? This is the damning evidence that the show will be woke slop?
Cause hot damn, you wanna know what's a scam? Your fucking education, nigga, that's what the scam is.
It just doesn't make sense, especially when the original character was white.
Well, I don't think you have a leg to stand on regarding comic accuracy when you complained about a character from those comics being adapted, alongside your other baseless complaints about the comics.
Am I the only one who did the reading?
What is it with race swaps going under people's noses and nobody picking up on it? Think about it, in the original comics, Ben Urich was white, he was the supporting character, and you also had Black Cat, who was also white. And now they swapped it out to be a Chinese chick and some black guy who's probably going to be spouting some shit about slaves.
But that's not a race swap. Robbie is black in the comics, and they're adapting him into the show. You're fabricating a complaint to make the show appear as if it has some agenda against white people, when the only one who really seems to have an agenda against races is you.
That's what these big companies and writers do. They give you a badass main character to pull you in, and right when you think something's gonna be awesome, they kick you in the balls and give you a race swap.
But again, this says nothing about the quality of the writing or the performance. You know, the things that actually matter when talking about a character and how they're portrayed. Unless you can prove that race is absolutely necessary to make sense of the character in universe, this remains a meaningless talking point.
That's basically what this is, and whoever made this decision is a spasticated son of a bitch for ruining something that could have been cool.
You wouldn't know what cool is if it webbed you in the face and pulled you in for a punch.
And speaking of sons of bitches, I'm just gonna end off this video with a really big handicap right here.
Oh hey, I know that guy on Twitter. He's cool, I have fun interacting with him from time to time. Anyway, let's take a look at how he offended you.
Who says, watch Critical Drinker call it woke because he has to beat up Nazis. Newsflash for you, that is woke.
I understand that beating up Nazis is offensive to you, and I'm very sorry that offends you. But this is in character for Spider-Man. This matches the time period within the setting. There's no way you can possibly argue that this concept is inherently bad storytelling. All you've displayed is your willingness to take offense for frivolous reasons.
Nobody gives a shit about the Nazis anymore.
Nobody gives a shit about the Green Goblin because he's a fictional character. That doesn't negate the fact that the characters in the story will still care about what's happening.
It's been beat over her head for 50 years, and it's getting pretty stale and old.
This is a show that takes place in the 1930s. Are you forgetting that? Are you forgetting what the first page of Spider-Man Noir told you?
Am I the only one who did the reading?
So if you want to make me feel bad about Germans and you want them to be the villain of everything and never mentioning communism, which, sorry to break it to you, killed a lot more people aren't gonna stand for it anymore. We want a normal TV show with no politics.
This guy doesn't read his own scripts. He gets mad at Nazis being rightfully shit on, all because he wants communists to be shit on as well, but then proceeds to say that he wants a normal TV show that has no politics. This is also an anti-art position to hold. Some pieces of art are meant to touch on politics, which is often the case in period pieces. I mean, you sound just like the kind of person to complain about Captain America punching Nazis, even though that matches the setting, the time, and the character of Captain America. Is that bad because me no want politics?
Especially if it's a noir detective mystery. And if you are gonna do politics, don't have it be some retarded stereotypical bullshit like the Nazis are the bad guys.
I don't understand this point. The Nazis are the bad guys, which makes them fitting antagonists to the hero, especially during a time where their cult had more relevance.
So I don't even like Critical Drinker because he hasn't even read those comics and he barely reads any comics, to be honest.
Neither do you, judging by your horrific analysis earlier.
Am I the only one who did the reading?
But if he comes out and calls it woke, then he's gonna be fully correct. Because pathetic sacks of shit like you and the people behind this TV show are the real retards.
And yet, you couldn't highlight one bad decision they've made in the production, which means you literally have nothing of substance to say. Nothing you say is backed up by evidence or logical reasoning.
And people are fed up with your slop, so you had a chance to make a great noir TV show, but of course they had to add in politics and start race swapping. So by definition, this show is not going to be good.
By definition, you have not made a logical argument to support your central claim.
It's not going to be entertaining, it's not going to be apolitical.
It's also not apolitical to criticize the government, but you seemed fine with other works doing just that. So, you don't even have consistent standards.
It's not going to be badass, and most importantly of all, it isn't noir, because it just looks like it was made up by a gay redditor. And funny enough, that's the type of retards that this gay woke show is going to attract.
Screaming insults at the camera doesn't constitute a valid argument. It just makes you a crybaby that we get to laugh at every now and then, as that has always been the main attraction of your channel.
So if you're sick to death of crap like this, and if you agreed with anything I said, do let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you got a problem with anything I said in this video, fuck you.
I understand that scrutinizing your video is offensive to you, and I'm very sorry that offends you, but brutal honesty is needed in your case. It's the only way we can possibly get the truth through your thick skull, though I don't see that happening anytime soon. With that said, I have nothing more to add. I think it's pathetic, yet hilarious, how often this guy makes a fool of himself and tries to play it off like he's this expert time traveler who knows how everything will turn out, but he's not going to prevent anything anyway. Or how he screams at the camera in place of logic and reasoning. But setting his nonsense aside, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Noir. It looks very exciting.
They will not find me. How the fuck do they see me?
Because of Redbeard.
Oh! Damn it. That was not fair. But that was a good
Wow,
run.
he's teabagging.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.